Stephen M. Smith, touchdown Alabama, breaking down Alabama taking on Notre Dame. Of course, the first of the two semifinal matchups. This one from AT&T Stadium, the site of the Rose Bowl this year in the college football playoff. Of course, I'm going to go to the trenches, Stephen, on both sides of the ball for Alabama. A few notes here. The pass rush has improved remarkably over the last portion of the season here. I see where the team's got 18 sacks in the final three contests. Will Anderson has been a menace. Christian Barmore also wreaking havoc. Your thoughts about the pass rush and also the status of defensive end LeBron Ray?
Well, the pass rush, Mark, you got to give a lot of credit to Pete Golding. I know there are moments where people look at Coach Golding and go, is this job at Alabama way over his head and things of that nature? But Coach Golding has actually done a solid job of simplifying the game plan, not having the players think as much. They can just get after the football and create negative plays. That's exactly what they've done. And you bring up Will Anderson, leading the SEC in sacks with 7 to his own credit. And this is a young man that, once again, did not have spring football because of COVID, did not have a typical summer program, did not have a typical fall camp. He had to teach himself a lot of things, on Zoom with Coach Golding helping him out. But you look at what this young man has done since the Iron Bowl, getting his first career sack. He has averaged at least 2 sacks per game in the last 3 to 4 matchups. He has been incredible, on the edge, not just as a pass rusher, but as a true edge setter. Then you go from him to Christian Barmore, who's got 6 sacks this year. He has been phenomenal. And a guy that not a lot of people talk about, Christopher Allen. Here's a young man that came in that 2017 signing class as a 4-star from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's battled so many injuries, but Mark, he's finally healthy. He's finally back on the field at full strength. And my gracious, the year that Chris Allen has had, 12 tackles for loss to lead the team, 6 sacks for him on the year. So he's been at it as well. So just being able to simplify the game plan, not allowing the players to think as much, just react to the play, get out to the quarterback, fly around the field, play with passion, play with fire, have fun with it. You got to give Coach Golding credit in that regard. But in terms of LeBron Ray, still kind of battling that elbow issue here, Mark, that he suffered the week of the Georgia game, going back to that 4th week there of Alabama season. He has not played much this year since sustaining that injury. Coach Saban talked about it. He's been rehabbing from it. He has not been able to practice as much at all. And I hate it for that young man because he came in 2017 as a 5-star from James Clemens High School out of Madison, Alabama, but has just not really been able to be really, truly healthy. So hopefully he can rehab his way back from that elbow injury as soon as he possibly can. But as of right now, LeBron Ray has not been able to do much, just geared back towards still sustaining some discomfort there from an elbow issue he suffered prior to the Georgia game.
LeBron Ray, with a full season and a solid season in 2018, has only been able to suit up for 7 games for the Tide the past 2 seasons. We got Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama on the line to break down the Tide and the Irish. And for as much as we talk about pass rush and the improved play in getting to the quarterback, as you well know, it's about containing Ian Book as well. And then I've seen some tweets come out from you and from others in reviewing some of the news conferences and the rhetoric coming from the Notre Dame camp that this is going to be a grown man football game and they want to take that imposing offensive line and impose their will in the running game on Bama.
Absolutely. I mean, Mark, this entire week of media viewing, whether it's been head coach Brian Kelly or offensive coordinator Tommy Rees of the Irish. Remember, Rees was the quarterback for that 2012 Irish team that got to the 2013 BCS title game in Miami that suffered that, brutal loss to Alabama by the score of 42-14. Rees was the backup quarterback on that team behind Everett Ghost, of course. So whether it was Brian Kelly or Tommy Rees or a couple of players, this Notre Dame team really loves its offensive line, and rightfully so. Notre Dame is one of 3 finalists joining Alabama and Texas A&M, if I'm not mistaken, for the Joe Moore Award that goes to the top offensive unit in college football. And listen to those guys. They feel like we have an offensive line that can go toe-to-toe with Alabama and move these guys, off the football. Tommy Kramer, the fifth-year senior at right guard for Notre Dame, said it himself. He talked about how, they've got a good defense at Alabama, but we've got a solid offensive line. Even though Kyron Williams, the running back for the Irish, that has 1,061 yards rushing and 12 touchdowns, he was held to just 50 yards against Clemson in the ACC title game. But Kyron Williams said, I have not doubted my guys. I trust my guys up front. They're solid. They put a hat in the hat. They move guys off the football. We believe we can run on this Bama team. You got to kill us to stop us. And that's coming from Kyron Williams there and running back for the Irish. So this week, Brian Kelly has made it perfectly clear. They're going to try to play ball control. They're going to try to play keep away from Alabama. They're going to try to own the time of possession and keep that explosive Alabama offense on the sideline as much as they can. Tommy Rees said they like what they have in Ian Book. They like the maturity that he has brought to the table and what he can do in the passing game. But they mentioned he doesn't have to be special. He doesn't have to be heroic. He doesn't have to be explosive, play within our system, do what we're going to design you to do offensively, and we should be able to come away with this football game. So, Mark, Notre Dame, very, very confident in its offensive line in terms of the run blocking.
Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down the game we all love. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Hit that bell for the notifications. That way you know when we're going live. Got Stephen M. Smith, touchdownalabama.com, a great source for Alabama sports coverage, football in particular. Stephen, of course, setting us up for Notre Dame on New Year's Day. And my last question is going to be concerning. I know that this our last conversation was following the SEC championship game and the loss of Landon Dickerson, but just want to go over that again in regards to offensive line. Everybody else healthy? How are we looking up front on the Tide side?
Everybody else, Mark, is healthy on the offensive line. And what's intriguing, Mark, is it's everybody is bought into, even though you don't have Landon Dickerson and the job that he's done and the leader he's been. He was voted a permanent team captain for a reason at Alabama's annual awards banquet. He was voted the Iron Man of the team for a reason. All of the accolades that Landon Dickerson has earned, he's earned them for a reason. And though he will not be on the field due to sustaining significant ligament damage to his knee in the SEC title game, this whole team is behind Chris Owens as the backup center, as the next man up. Chris Owens, the redshirt senior from Arlington, Texas, he's played a lot of football in his career at Alabama, whether it's at center, offensive tackle, offensive guard, or at tight end. He's played all over this offensive line. He's got a ton of experience, a wealth of knowledge. And whether it was talking with Nick Saban or Steve Sarkisian, Alex Leatherwood, Mac Jones, even Miller Forrestall, all of these guys in unison said, Chris Owens has got it. We believe in him. We've worked with him all week. He's got the chemistry. He knows what we're trying to do. He is ready to rock and roll. This team 100% sold on Chris Owens can get out here and get this job done running the controls at center.
Stephen M. Smith of touchdownalabama.com, as you can hear, locked in like few others on Alabama football. And before you go, Stephen, I want to make sure everyone knows where they can find you, your various platforms and shows.
Absolutely. They can find me on Twitter at Coaching M. Smith on Twitter. I'm at Coaching M. Smith on Twitter. They can find me on Facebook. That's Stephen M. Smith on Facebook. Stephen M. Smith right there. The site is touchdownalabama.com, touchdownalabama.com this week. We have been pumping out the content here as we're throughout the media availability for the Crimson Tide and the Fighting Irish at the Rose Bowl. The show, in my own words, we go every Monday Wednesday and Friday on YouTube. We're actually moving to a new location, so getting some new stuff prepared here for the fans of Tide football. But in my own words, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can catch us on YouTube, 6 p.m. Central Time, where we break down your Crimson Tide.
Stephen, once again, a belated Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope to reconvene with you next week, sir.
Absolutely. You guys take care, Mark.